Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call this meeting to order, the Mayor and Board of Commissioners for January the 9th, 2018. Can I get the roll call, please?
Commissioner Pearson,
Here.
Commissioner Arthurreath,
Here.
Commissioner Braun,
Here.
Mayor Marion.
Here.
Let the record reflect that all are in attendance with the exception of Commissioner Warnick.
And Commissioner Warnick is out of town on business, so he did let us know ahead of time that he unfortunately couldn't be here. Will you rise with me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will you bow your heads with me for a brief prayer, please? Father God, I come to you tonight on behalf of our town, on behalf of our citizens, God. I ask for a hedge of protection around our citizens, God, around the people of our community, around our police officers, as well as those in our armed forces and that are serving overseas, God. I ask that you be with us here tonight and with us as we leave here tonight and meet again. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. There is no public presentations tonight. However, there is an executive session report, and I will read that for you. There was an executive session on January the 2nd at 6:30 p.m. We met on the second floor of Town Hall. The motion to open the meeting was made by Commissioner Pearson and seconded by Commissioner Warnick. Those in attendance were myself as mayor, Commissioner Arthurreath, Braun, Pearson, and Warnick. There was no voting. There was a motion to hold an executive session made by Commissioner Arthurreath, seconded by Pearson. That was a 4-0 vote confirming it. There was a motion made by Commissioner Braun and Pearson to seal the minutes. The reason for the executive session was to discuss personnel. A motion to leave executive session was made by Commissioner Arthurreath, seconded by Pearson. That was a 4-0 vote again. Adjourning the meeting was Pearson, seconded by Commissioner Arthurreath. That was a 4-0 vote, and the meeting adjourned at 10:30 p.m. All right. Moving forward into business meeting items, we actually don't have any business meeting items tonight. So, Chief, could I have the citizens' input, please? All right, thank you. Mr. Lamb.
Hi, I'm Roger Lamb. I live out on Stevens Road. I've been in town, I've lived in town for a number of years, lived in town limits, paid town taxes for a number of years before I moved where I border the town. But one of the things that I noticed that part of the 2010 comprehensive plan has my property scheduled to be annexed. Not in favor of that. I mean, I see my neighbors, they had some of their lands annexed in. They weren't happy about it. I'm in that same group. I don't think that annexations are in the best interest of the town. I've seen, a lot of the things, what happened with Frapple caused a lot of heartache in town, a lot of difficult situations for the town, cost the town a lot of money, a lot of embarrassment for a lot of people. I just hope you realize that, developers were the cause of that, and that, hope, you can take something, from that instance that is, positive in the future. But one of the things that I'm talking about is the water that's going to come into town. I've noticed that, I've seen reports where the county has got maybe 100 single-family housing starts for the year. I understand that the way the rates are right now, what would happen if that line goes in, you're going to need a lot of homes to support the water because, from what I understand, you're using 273,000 gallons of water a day, and they're going to make you pay for 500,000. So to make it work, I would think that you would need, more customers. But if there are not enough housing starts, where are those new customers going to come from? And the question is, if they're not single-family housing starts, I think that you guys should be more open about what's been presented to the town as opportunities for the town economically. Um, let's see. And basically, I just, wanted to talk about that, just so, that, that's got to be out in the open. Because one of the things, that, a lot of people are talking about, their utility rates going up. And I know that they were reasonable, when I lived in town. That was probably close to 20 years ago. But, from what I see, in stats, that looks like they're going to quadruple. And I think, if that's the case, you're going to lose a lot of people in town. And then the only thing you're going to have left in town are landlords. And I don't know if you've ever been to any of the town meetings where landlords show up, but if you have something on the agenda for landlords, you can have them all show up from the whole county, right in this town hall. They're not afraid of you guys. The problem is that they want to get their way. And, of course, if the town is full of rentals, you're really not going to have townspeople anymore. You can have a bunch of renters. It's not going to be the same. I've heard people lament, about, the town being different now. Well, I still think it's a small town. It's one of the smallest towns, around here. But to parlay it into something bigger, I just don't think it's going to work. Pretty much a bottom line for me. One of the things I understand is that on this Chester Water Authority, that there's a $750,000 loan that's out to help you get the loan to pay for the line. But is it my understanding that that loan has to be paid off before you can get the loan? Okay. Is the loan going to go through? Because, people are asking. Okay. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you,
Mayor,
Mr. Lamb.
Can I answer one thing for Roger? And one question? Unless you would come to us, Roger, to have your property annexed in,
You're not going to do it?
we have no intentions of going out and annexing
Okay.
property.
Yeah, no,
Unless,
I realize that, yeah.
okay,
You go through a process if you had to, but I could see that there's nobody on Stevens Road that would be even remotely interested in it.
Right,
But, maybe there is, but
just wanted you to, it may be, but that's not our intention.
yeah, okay.
Thank you. I'm going to try to say this right. Is it Mr. McMahon? Thank you.
Yes, I was just wanting to know, with the Chester Water Authority, with their project they want to do, now if Oxford Sewer Authority does not do it on their end, will it affect you guys on your end, on the completion of that?
What are you, I'm not sure what you're asking.
Well, I'm asking because they're with the Chester Water Works that went to one line to the Rising Sun, while they want to go to Oxford too. Do you guys know that?
Yeah, what comes through Oxford, yeah.
Yes, but does that have anything to do with this project here if they don't do it?
No,
Okay.
this is for a water interconnect.
Water and sewer?
No, just water.
Just
We
water.
have our own sewer plant in town,
Okay.
brand new that we're paying on.
Right, okay, because now Oxford they said they would do a water line plus a dry line for sewer on top,
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't have anything to do with Oxford.
right? Yeah.
We-
I didn't know if
we
that was
can't-
part of
it's
the deal
Pennsylvania.
with that, or.
We have no authority over
Right, I
Pennsylvania.
didn't know if that was like a joint venture or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Vanderhoff, do you have anything? Okay. Would anyone else like to speak this evening? All right, hearing none, we're going to move over into staff reports. Chief Peterson.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. In lieu of my standard report, I would like to give you some statistics for 2017 on the performance of the police department. First off, I'd like to tell you one thing that I just realized earlier today. We have 4 guys. That includes myself and 3 officers. And combined, we have 103 years of police experience with 4 guys. That means a lot of us are really old and been in this job for a long time. But that also means that we have experience in all facets of law enforcement. During 2017, we responded to approximately 7,100 calls for service. We completed 189 investigations. That does not include carryovers from 2016 and 2015 that may be continuing. That on average is about 15 a month. We arrested 149 adults, 11 juveniles. The number of vehicle stops was 526, and the number of accident reports that had to be completed, which was the complete acres required report by the state of Maryland, was 11. That does not include incidents where fender benders occurred. Those are not actually reported on an acres report. It's just the exchange of information as dictated by the Code of Maryland. In my eyes, the ability to judge your police department is if you can safely walk the streets of this town at any time of day or night and feel free of being accosted by criminal activity. And to me, I think that is a good barometer to use, and I think this town is one of the safer towns that allows that to still happen. With that being said, that concludes my report for this evening, unless there's any questions.
Chief, I just have a quick comment, and this is on behalf of our town board. As you know, Governor Hogan proclaimed today as National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. On behalf of the commissioners and myself, we just want to say sincere thank you to you and your officers for all you do to continue to protect us and keep us safe here in the town of Rising Sun. So thank you.
You're welcome. I will pass that along to the officers.
All right. Staff reports, town administrator.
No report.
Thank you. All right, moving into the mayor's report. My report is pretty brief. On December the 22nd, I attended a dodgeball match at Rising Sun High School. For any of you that have dislike for me, the kids took advantage of throwing balls and trying to hit me as hard as they could, especially to my face. I got hit pretty hard, but I had an excellent time playing dodgeball with the kids along with the staff. I was on the staff team, and it ended up that the juniors won the entire championship, so congratulations to them. They'll hold that trophy until the next dodgeball match, which will be in the wintertime again next year. So congratulations to them. I also attended a winter concert. If you've never attended any of our drama productions at our high school or even at our middle school or elementary school, it's amazing what these kids do. And I'm happy that we are part of the schools and are deeply involved in their lives. So it was a great event, and I was excited to be there. That's all I have on my report tonight. I'm looking forward to doing Mayor for a Day again. That'll be coming up in the spring. And I'll be visiting the schools again this year to speak with them about what it's like to be mayor here in the town. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Auchenreith.
Since this is our first meeting from the holidays, not much is in the way of projects has been going on with the cold snap that we've had. Our public works guys have been busy with some water connections that are breaking. We've had a couple up on Sunrise Circle up off Ryan Drive that they were dealing with most recently. We have a small leak over in Bryant's Grace that is being handled by a contractor who did some work there. They've been salting roads, dealing with downed trees and stuff during these heavy windstorms we've had. We have our part now for the census water billing software that does the automated reading of our meters, but we need the ground, we need a break in the weather so that a new cable can be ran, which has to be ran underground. We hope to have that thing hooked back up this month so that we can get back to the proper water readings. So, like I said, really nothing going on right now since the holidays. This crazy snap of weather we've had has brought its own special problems. And then the ice this morning, of course, our overtime budget is now, taking a hit, and we're only in January. So just everybody be careful out there. Make sure your water valves are shut off. You've salted where you can, and be careful of accidents. I almost ran into my neighbor's car just trying to get out my driveway this morning and almost wiped out myself. and my mailbox. So that's all I have tonight. Well, a couple of things. We recently did the Hartford Cecil chapter of MML down Port Deposit. Mayor Tome really put on a good event over at the was it
Donaldson Brown.
Donaldson Brown, and we attended that. There was some really good information coming out of our MML staff that night. Rising Sun, Mayor Marion will be putting together the next one that'll be coming up this spring. We'll be hosting. We have Cecil Night Annapolis coming up this Thursday, sponsored by the Cecil County Chamber of Commerce. Legislative session opens tomorrow down in Annapolis, so a lot of activity down in Annapolis, where they got a heck of a snowstorm the other day. I was down there when that crazy little snow came through. So a lot of things happening this month. Hopefully we'll have some more exciting news to report on later this month. That's all I have now.
Thank you, Commissioner Autenreith. Commissioner Braun.
The Planning and Zoning Board has continued to attempt to meet twice a month to update the comprehensive plan and the zoning ordinance. Recently, we were able to locate 43 zoning changes that have been made since 1975, which changes were never indicated on our official map. And we are now working to integrate these changes into our map. And after we get it completed, we'll be able to get our map certified and filed with the county.
Thank you, Commissioner Braun. Commissioner Pearson.
Okay. The biggest announcement I have is the Blue Breakfast for the police will be Friday, February the 16th from 8 to 11 at Ford's Banquet Hall. It is open to all active and retired law enforcement. You don't have to just be a police officer. You can be a marshal or any type of law enforcement. Now, on a very positive note, and take this as lighthearted as it's meant to be, the murder rate for Rising Sun stayed the same in 2017 as it did in 2016. Just thought you'd all like to know that.
And
Thank you.
What was that rate, Commissioner Pearson?
0.
Okay.
Now that you jinxed us, you'll probably.
And I would add, Commissioner Pearson, I know you've said this, Commissioner Pearson also sent out donation request letters to local businesses. If you would like to give us a check or money, we would love to have it. So send it to Commissioner Pearson at Town Hall. And this is to cover the Blue Breakfast.
Yeah,
So,
and I can explain that a little. As we've grown, and when this started out 3 years ago, it was nowhere near the size. And Lisa, you've been involved with the Red Breakfast, and everybody, you've watched this thing grow to the point where we had to get out of here to go to Ford's. Well, more people means more food. That's why we've asked for donations for the first time, because we're expecting even more officers than we've had in the past, because it's very, very well attended by our state police, the sheriff, and all the local jurisdictions.
all right. Thank you, Commissioner Pearson. Is there any other business come before the board this evening? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
The stuff on the back.
Oh, absolutely. I can do that really quick. There is upcoming meetings. Planning Commission is January the 15th at 5:30 p.m. There's another town meeting January 23rd at 7 p.m. There's a Planning Commission workshop Monday, February the 5th at 6:30, and then another town meeting February the 13th at 7 p.m. Town Hall will be closed on January the 15th for Martin Luther King Day and President's Day on February the 19th. I got the motion. Could I get a second to adjourn?
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.